We told you earlier that the FDA has authorized two big steps to make COVID booster shots available to millions more Americans. The agency authorized boosters for those 18 and older who received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and for seniors and others at high risk who got the Moderna vaccine. Pfizer boosters, as you know, have already been authorized for some patients. Those shots could be made available in just a few days if a CDC advisory committee approves the plan at a meeting today, and that is expected. President Biden's chief medical advisor, you know him well, Dr. Anthony Fauci, joins us from NIH headquarters in Maryland to sort this all out for us. Dr. Fauci, always good to have you here because you've got the answers. This is big news about the boosters. A lot of people think good news in the effort to keep us safe. But here's a question. How safe should you feel if you've been vaccinated but you don't have a booster yet, especially those who got the J&J vaccine? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, the vaccines from the original regimen that we got still holding really quite well when it comes to protection against severe disease and hospitalization. But we know from our own experience here in the United States, as well as more extended experience in Israel, that after a period of time, that protection wanes. It protects against severe disease pretty well, but the protection against infection and then ultimately against severe disease tends to diminish over time. So even though people right now who've been vaccinated within the last several months can feel comfortable, if you really want to have the optimal protection, Gayle, then the people who are qualified and eligible to get the booster should do it. The good news about what you've just mentioned in your announcement is that now everything is a level playing field. Those who got J&J, those who got Moderna, and those who've gotten Pfizer. There's availability now to get boosters for all of those people who are in those three separate groups.
And we're talking about mixing and matching. If you got the J&J, would you get another J&J vaccine? I know a lot of people who have it are sort of freaked out about what they're hearing about the J&J booster or the J&J vaccine.
Well, you know, it really depends on your own individual preference and consulting with your physician about where you fall in, for example, your age or your gender or whether or not you're a man or a woman. There are different, the risks for adverse event scale are really very, very rare and very, very low. But in a certain situation, for example, if I were a woman, I would probably not have any problem at all with an mRNA because the rare adverse event with the mRNA is almost exclusively seen in young men. So you really have to balance what the risk benefit is. But I want to emphasize that the risk of adverse events is really very, very low.
Good.
Dr. Fauci, mixing and matching can be a term also used to describe the messaging surrounding COVID. When it comes to what people are saying about Johnson & Johnson, for example, you have said that this should have maybe been a 2-dose shot in the beginning, and now people that have the Johnson & Johnson vaccination are saying they should get a second shot. Is there a better way for experts to get that messaging out there so people at home aren't distrustful or confused or even hesitant to go in and get a vaccine or booster shots?
Well, messaging is always a very important part of a public health program. You're absolutely correct. I think now with the announcement that was just made from the FDA and the recommendations that will almost certainly come imminently, very soon, certainly, from the CDC, that things will really be very clear of what people can and should do. You're right. When you have three separate vaccines that have different characteristics, there can be confusion, but I think right now things are going to be pretty clear when people hear what is available to them. And as we mentioned, the mix and match really gives a good deal of flexibility to people in whatever it is that they want to choose. And the CDC, I am sure, will come out with some pretty clear recommendations depending upon what category you fit into.
All right, Dr. Anthony Fauci, we thank you for your time this morning. I do think this is very encouraging that the booster to make us all safer for whatever it takes to get us through this. Thank you so much.